Welcome to the reStart principles. And we talked in a previous session about the sharing economy. Today I want to dig a little bit deeper. What happens is God says to the Israelites, you are to get a lamb without defect, a male. And what you need to do is you must care for it for 14 days, he says in Exodus chapter 12, verse 6. Care for it for 14 days. And the principle is sometimes we need to get attached to things before we sacrifice them. Because he goes on to say, care for it for 14 days, and then you slaughter it. Now, by that stage, after 14 days, those little lambs probably had names. The kids had called them names. Oh, this is cute. We're going to call it this. We're going to call it that. And I remember when I grew up in Hout Bay, not when I grew up, we were married there, the kids in the local school caused a bit of a riot. Why? Because every year the school had like a school fete or a school bazaar. And this year they got a bunch of sheep. And what was the idea of the teachers and the principal? We'll let them graze around the school grounds for a couple of months until they get nice and fat, and then we'll just kill them and we'll put them on the braai, we'll put them on the spit. Well, the kids signed a petition. They'd given these lambs names. They were cute. They'd become attached to them, and they couldn't proceed with their plan. I'm sure they probably got rid of them to a butcher anyway and just got some money, but the fact is the kids had become attached. Sometimes God wants us to become attached to something before we sacrifice it. Might be your career, might be your work, might become that your business has been a little lamb to you, your investment portfolio, that special thing that you hold dear. You hold it dear, but it's going to hold you back from the move that God wants you to make. And it can be that the sacrificing of that thing is that which protects you for the future. Remember, the blood of the lamb on the doorpost, the lintels, is what prevented the angel of death from going into their houses. And sometimes, as God calls us to sacrifice something which is dear to us, it's been good to us, we've become attached to it. It's necessary to sacrifice it so that we can move into the next season that we have in life. So sometimes we need to get attached to things before we sacrifice them. Think about what these things might be in your life, and think about the freedom that can come as things that have been good. They've been assets in the past, but God doesn't want them to go across the Red Sea into the desert. Figure out what those things are so that you can willingly offer them to God.